Welcome to Everyday Life. Thank you for joining our podcast, Conversations Over Coffee. My name is Jen.
And I'm Dagda.
And we're going to hit you with the explicit content warning right off the bat. This podcast does include adult situations and adult language from time to time.
I'm an angel. I never fucking cuss.
Okay. Anyways, you ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go. Nerd.
Pot.
Kettle black. Excuse me, but my kettle is blue. Thank you so much. Actually, I don't even have a kettle. But my pot's blue and silver.
Yeah, I don't think we have any kettles.
Yeah.
I definitely don't have any kettles.
I mean, we have a couple of kettle balls in the house, but I don't think that counts. And they are black, so I mean, I guess. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Good. We tried to do a recording. I got into a little bit of a rant, but that's okay. All I can say is redacted, and that's how I feel.
Not going to Seattle anytime soon.
Ever, if I can help it. I mean, I might go to SeaTac if I had to pick somebody up from the airport, but even then, I think I'd be like, Jan, you know what Uber is, right?
Make them catch one of the short hops over to fucking like Gig Harbor or something.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of little airstrips in Pierce County.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like at least, a dozen between like, there's at least a dozen in Pierce County.
I mean, they're all over the place in Washington. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are like, I own a Cessna.
Yeah.
And I think that's so cool that there's a lot of people who actually know how to fly. And I think it's really cool. Like the people who own companies or whatever that have done really well for themselves. And maybe they live in Pierce County. They might even live in Thurston County, but their business is in like King County or Kitsap County. And they're like, I need to go into work today. I guess I'll fly in. And they'll fly up to one of the smaller airports, or a lot of them have arrangements with private airstrip owners. Because we have a couple of communities in Pierce County where that's the whole point of buying the house there, is because there's a private airstrip out back.
Yeah. I mean, even the little ass town that I grew up in, we had a private airstrip. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's like 4 or 5 of them out there now.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, but kudos to them.
I saw a thing yesterday, I think it was. It was like the Diary of a CEO or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude was talking to this lady who, I guess she's like a like mutual fund or something like that manager, something along those lines.
Okay.
And they were talking about AI, but they were talking about 2 companies in particular, which aren't AI companies, but so they were talking about Tesla and this other company. I can't remember the name of it. When she said it, I was like, oh man, I actually almost invested in that company.
Right.
Because this company is making eVTOLs, which are electronic virtual takeoff and landing vehicles.
Okay.
And both of them are in the process of trying to make basically electronic driverless cab companies, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And with one of the cool things about Tesla is that the new, I think it's the Y series.
Okay.
The Y series is going to be their cabs. And if you buy one of the Y series, it will have an option to where basically you drive to work, you turn it on and tell it to be a cab. Mm-hmm. So you drive to work, and then the rest of the day, it's working for you.
Yeah.
And then it comes and picks you up. It's kind of fucking awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway.
I just had a flash of Upload Season 1, and I'm just like, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody disabled the safety features.
That would be me if I sent my car to do cab work in King County.
The safety features?
I'd be like...
Oh, specifically in King County?
Only specifically to King County.
Yeah.
And I'm not... there's lots of great people up there.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, Phil Harris was from up there. One of my favorite captains from Deadliest Catch. The whole, like, 3/4 of the captains live up there. So I ain't trying to be a dick. I'm really not. I just... I think there's just,
They're getting what they voted for.
They are getting exactly what they voted for. Welcome to Portland.
Welcome to dystopia.
Welcome to Discord. Anyways, I don't want to get on it again.
Yeah.
But what I did want to talk about and touch on was you had mentioned talking to Miss Z about failure.
Uh-huh.
So let's go back through that again, because they don't know what we talked about before I had my 17-minute rant. Because I don't like there's a time for shenanigans.
Yeah.
And then there's shenanigans. And we're not doing the shenanigans in my life.
Anyway.
Sorry, I just they've got the Martin TV show, and I love the Martin TV show.
I never watched it.
So the
Martin, damn Gina. I used to say that to Martin all the time.
Well, what was funny about it is they the little clip they did has Martin in his shenanigans character.
Okay.
And she wants to fight Pam. Listen, Gina, your boyfriend, he is going to be all of me. I don't know. Anyways, but it's shenanigans. Because you think it's one thing and it's really another that's going on. But anyways.
You've been again.
I don't like hooligans. Anyways, so Miss Z was worried about failure. So what'd you have to say to her about that?
Oh, I just mentioned to her the several times that I failed. Well, several of the times that I failed. The first one being failing at taking a pilot's ground course.
Now, honestly, that's one thing when you say that, like, I get it. But then I kind of think like you were just being lazy because if you would have studied just a little bit, you could probably be making super bank as a pilot.
That is true. And it's true that I was just being lazy. So that, and I actually told that to her. It was like fucking my sophomore year in high school. And like I said, there's been a fucking airfield out there.
Yeah.
And one of the dudes that lived out there was a instructor.
Yeah.
And so he basically made a deal with the school, with the high school, that he would teach pilot's ground course for $100, which usually it's like, at that time it was like $200 or $300. I don't know how much it is now. And so, but it was my sophomore year, and that year I did fuck all. I don't think I did a single homework assignment for a single class that year. Anyway, when it came time to take the test for the school, for the pilot's class, you have to get a 70% in order to pass. I got a 69. I got one.
You finally got your first 69.
Yeah. One and only.
You hear that, ladies? He's sad.
Maybe I shouldn't have fucking admitted that. Anyway. Yeah. So.
Well, it's not like you enjoy all of what happens in a 69.
Yeah. Noses and butts is not fun. At least I would assume so. Anyway, fucking brown nosers.
Yeah, you're not doing it right if your nose is going in the asshole. I'm just telling you right now.
Okay.
Only I think you have that inherent fear that you'd be like, okay, we're gonna do this shit live, and somebody's gonna have gas.
Oops.
Just make sure you're the bottom. It makes it much better.
Yeah, I'm like anyway.
Anyways,
Not gonna,
okay.
So
not gonna. You almost passed with a 69.
Yeah.
You're one nuggie short of a 69. Okay.
Yeah, and that was like, me just being lazy, basically. Although,
was there no retest available to you, or did you have to pay the money again if you were going to retest?
I think I would have had to pay the money again, and that I paid for it myself.
Yeah.
So,
but you do understand the principles of flying, though. If the world went kabooey because King County's doing a stupid, you could get us out of here in a Cessna, right? Maybe. It's been a while. That's like fucking a while ago. I was waiting to see if you were going to do the math on that.
Yeah.
Like the look on your face was like, oh fuck, that's been forever and a day. I know.
Yeah.
You look like you could be your own father at this point in life.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look.
I look like I could be my own grandfather at this point. Considering how young I looked, even when I was like 21.
But you still don't look, neither one of us look the age that we actually are.
Yeah.
But I mean, we are getting it's so funny. Who the heck? Kevin Bacon. I love Kevin Bacon.
I mean, bacon's great.
Bacon is fantastic. I love me some Kevin Bacon. I think he's a fantastic entertainer, and I about shit myself when he came up on not mine, but on the work Instagram feed. When he came up on the podcast Instagram feed, I was like, when did that happen? I'm like, because I didn't watch that show because I don't have Amazon Prime, right?
Bondsman, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
so
a
the
good show.
last show I actually saw him in might have been The Following.
Okay.
And that's like from 10 years ago. And he still looked like he was in his solid early 50s. I don't actually know how old he is, but I'm like...
Yeah, the last thing of his that I saw before I watched The Bondsman was, well, the last thing I saw him in was the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
That was so good.
Yeah,
that is so good.
Yeah.
But even then, that kind of surprised me too. But from the Guardian of the Galaxy Christmas special till what I just saw of him, that was something that there was two things I saw. One of them was from 11 weeks ago. And then of course he just did a tribute post to, Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, which probably the saddest one I've seen. Oh my God. Anyways. And I was just like, what the f happened? Like, when did he decide to get old? Like, honestly, I'm like, what's going on with all these actors and actresses starting to get old? What the hell is this bullshit? Anyways.
Yeah.
So laziness. Gotcha. Second time. What was your second failure?
That happened that same semester.
Right.
I failed a biology class.
Did you actually fail it, or did you just score low?
No, I scored high. I got an 87% in the fucking class.
So how did you fail it?
It's because the school had a policy that you had to complete 75% of the coursework, or you failed automatically. And the teacher wanted to
make an example of you, huh?
No, the teacher wanted to kind of get people used to the way it worked in college a lot of times.
Okay.
Which is basically almost all of your grade comes from test scores.
Okay.
And so, but she also assigned homework every single night. And I didn't do a single one of her fucking homework assignments.
Is this the year your friend got a job at the strip club?
No. This was my sophomore year.
Okay.
That was my senior year, obviously, because you had to be 18.
Sorry, for some reason you said sophomore and my brain automatically went junior.
Oh, no. And so I got an A on every single test except for one, which I got a B- on, which basically dropped my score from a A to a B+. But yeah, I didn't do a single homework assignment, and I only did one of the sort of class lab assignments, and I only did that because I was bored. And so, yeah, I got a fucking A on every test, except for that one. And so she also posted your grade on the board every week.
Yeah.
And so 2 weeks before the end of the class, go up there, and it had been 87 for like a month or more, and 87%. Go up there, and it's like, oh, 87% F. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And so I asked her, I was like, why do I have an F and an 87%? She's like, that's when she told me about you have to have a certain percentage of coursework completed or you automatically fail.
Yeah, you have to have 75. You have to show your work, man.
And I was just
it's not like the real world where the boss looks at you and says, look, I need you to take these 907 cartons of milk and put them away. I don't care how you fucking do it. Just do it without damaging anything. Just get it done. You don't have to show your work. It's just got to be done.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's
I was
the
so
school's
fucking
way of...
pissed off. I just turned around and walked off. I didn't say anything.
Did you speak to her the rest of the school year? Because that had to have happened like right before the end of the school year.
Yeah, it was like, yeah.
Did you ever talk to that teacher again?
No.
Did they try to talk to you ever?
No.
Hopefully you didn't have to do the class with her, did you?
No. The funny thing is, she was my second semester, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first semester I had one of the coaches as a biology teacher, and I didn't like the way he taught the class, so I switched over to her because I'd heard good things about her, and then I fucking took her class and failed, and I was like, you fucking
So
bitch.
he passed you even though you didn't do any fucking schoolwork.
I don't remember. He was more of a hard ass, so I probably did my class. I probably did all the stuff for him, because he would yell at you about the stuff. She just, okay, whatever. But yeah, I don't remember.
You know what it was? You switched out of the coach's class, and he'd been hounding you to be a fucking wrestler forever. And you left him. You know, he went to the other side and said, hey, you got redacted in your class? You better make sure you stick with district policy and make that little son of a bitch show his work.
Yeah.
He had it out for you. Your coach had a hard on for you, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had to make up that class.
But you got a completely different teacher.
Yeah.
From either of them.
Yeah. I don't remember. It was a new teacher, and obviously it was the next year that I had to redo that class.
Oh, at least you didn't have to do summer school.
I didn't. Yeah, no. It was only one. Typically, you have more than enough to where even if you fail like 2 or 3 classes, you should have enough credits to fucking graduate. Anyway, I took instead of taking a regular biology class, I took an even more difficult class.
Just to give him the old stiff arm, huh?
And got an A in that fucking class.
The look of vindication on your face, like, yeah, take that, science teacher.
It was much more interesting. Also, it was the very first time it was being taught. It was a fucking genetics class. It was kind of interesting. We like, what is it? Like mapped DNA and stuff in the
neat.
class. It was pretty cool.
See, like for me, I did all my science classes I needed. And I had the coolest science teacher. His name was Mr. Jensen. Charles Jensen. R.I.P. dude. He was so great. And I took biology 1 and 2 with him, but I told him from the get-go, because he was like, are you going to come in and do biology, or are you going to take science 3? I was like, oh, I'll come do biology for a year with you in my junior year or whatever. But I ain't dissecting shit. I'm not cutting anything. I'm not dissecting anything. I'll show any work you want on paperwork, but I will not touch anything that's been alive in that sense. I already feel guilty enough that I eat fucking hamburgers. So, yeah, he never made me dissect anything. I stayed in the A+ club in that one too.
Yeah.
You know, which is really nice when you have a good rapport with a teacher and you can make them understand. I can tell you what to do. I understand the work, but I don't think you need to see blade work from me. And it was really it was really funny because thankfully by time I got to high school and everything, they didn't have rats and toads and all that kind of stuff. All the schools could afford was flatworms. Thank God. And even then I wouldn't cut them. I was like, nope, I don't want it. I couldn't even stand the smell. So
yeah, that's formaldehyde or whatever they keep them in.
So the 2 days that they did dissections of these flatworms, I actually got to go basically do study hall in the library. You know, loved Mr. Jensen. Charles Jensen, what a great guy. Because he was one of those teachers that he was just like, like how your teacher had everybody's grades like available for everybody. Like he had it like everybody. He had the 50%, 75%, and then he had the 95+ club. And anybody who got above 95%, like, dude, he was all like always trying to partner us up in classes with others that might need. But he was just like, all you have to do is this little bit. I'm not asking you to do more than you think you should. All I need you to do is just this little bit. So, of course, everybody starts out below, and I don't like the idea of being below. And it just was like, it was one of those things where I stayed... Big thumbs up. I couldn't stand it. And it wasn't like, no offense to any of my family, but it wasn't like if it was my dad who'd be like, yeah, I got to be number 1 just to prove I'm number 1. It wasn't like that. It was just like, oh my God, this is really cool because I can do something and have people pat me on the back and say, that's awesome that I can see your hard work. I want to be paired with you for this group. It's not about being popular. It was just about having other people who were, smartish, being like, that's awesome. Feeling valued.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, and it didn't hurt that like once a month anybody who was in the 95% club, Mr. Jensen bought us lunch. So it didn't hurt that either. It was like a free, he would bring in 6-inch Subway sub sandwiches. Back when they cost $1.50 for 6 inches too. Anyways. Okay, so we've got the pilots thing, and of course we know that's laziness. And then we've got the biology class, and that's just complacency right there.
Yeah, it was laziness. Like I said, I did the fucking only one lab because I was bored. Right? So I fucking did jack shit in that class other than get A's on fucking tests because duh.
Right? So were you winning?
Yeah.
Every time I hear you talk about yourself and you go, duh, it really does take, I'm telling you, you need to watch that documentary and you'll be like, oh, that's totally me, but without the hookers and blow.
Or the success.
You're successful in your own way.
Millions of dollars, yeah.
Look, there's a lot of great things that money can buy. Like, I mean, Charlie will tell you, like, hookers and blow.
Yeah, tons.
Literal tons of both.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make everything in the world better. Look at some of the people who have some of the most money in the world, and they're miserable shits because they're constantly giving it away, going, look at me, give me attention now. I mean, you can get involved in hookers and blow, do that for 31 years. 31? Yeah, about 31 years. And then let's see if you come out the other side as same as him. But you also didn't have a daddy in the movies. Having a daddy that got in the newspaper ain't the same as having a daddy who was in the movies. Yeah. Because that is one thing about a lot of actors from like Gen X era where they have like an auntie, an uncle, a cousin, a mom, or a dad. They have somebody who might have that connection where they might get looked at twice.
Yeah. It's also something that I've often pondered. Me big words. Good.
Ooh, ponderous.
Anyway, I've often thought about is like having, this is not to say anything bad about my grandparents or parents, but having a parent or even a grandparent that is, that most people would argue that they're better than you. Mm-hmm. Right? They're more successful, they're better looking, whatever, stuff like that.
Okay.
I wonder how hard it would be having that be your reality, right? Like I've seen women who had a mother who was much better looking than them.
Okay.
And how that kind of negatively impact their life. Yeah. Also the reverse, where they're much better looking than their mom, and their mom had issues about it, and therefore they have issues with women because their mom treated them like shit because they were much better looking than their mom. I don't think, I'm sure some dudes have issues along those lines, but usually it's like how rich your dad is or whatever.
Right.
How successful. Oh, my dad was a general and I'm only a fucking E4. And I'll never be more than an E5 or something like that, you know? Wonder how, because I didn't really have that situation.
Yeah.
I wonder how negatively that impacts people. I mean, I'm sure some people, they have that situation going on and it just motivates them to be better.
Yeah.
Or they move laterally and they're like, I don't give a fuck about that. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my own thing regardless.
Yeah. I think the weirdest thing for me is the fact that we are all taught to compare ourselves to our parents. And our parents are always like, you've got to be better than so-and-so. You've got to be better than this. You've got to be better than that. I'm pretty sure I just have to be better than the guy who's out raping, robbing, killing, drugging, and drinking. Pretty sure that's the only thing I have to do. So it's really weird that we have this thing instilled in us about, you can't fail. Failure's bad. Yeah. Failure's actually fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because honestly, like I think I'm appealing visually to the eyes because I have a very symmetrical face and I have really pretty eyeballs. My eyeballs are awesome. But I think my mom, because to me, growing up, she looked so much like Sally Field. I had a complex about having this gorgeous mother because, you know, my mom just resembles just cute little pixie everything, you know, and, you know, I remember when I was a kid thinking like, if they were to tell stories here, my mom would be like Sleeping Beauty and I'd be like, who's that trimp tramping on my bridge? Wow. I know that's not true because I think, you know, I don't know. It gave me a complex for a little bit. And then it was just like, and then it very quickly dawned on me that it's like, you know, your mom's just your mom. And, you know, so she looks like a movie star lady. Who cares? She ain't rich like one, but she might look like one, but you know, I mean, I don't know. I think people who have a disposition of what about me all the time, I think those are the people who are going to have more problems. I think people who have a disposition like I do, where you do have flare-up moments about what about me? Okay. You'll have moments like that.
And sometimes it's deserved, right?
Yeah.
But
I'm telling you,
if you're having it all the time, then you're the problem.
Yeah, you know, but for people like who are like me, having gone through, and you know my experiences, and we don't divulge it all on mic because, you know, fuck that. I don't need to rehash trauma. It just, I've rehashed it enough and I'm getting away from it, which is fantastic. I try to take everything in stride now. But if you have my personality where it's like everybody deserves a win. So if my mom's biggest win in her entire life is that she worked really hard and she's building her home into her dream home, it's well deserved. Yeah. It is so well deserved. And if my biggest win is that along my lifetime, I met a few people that I love more than anything in life, then it's earned and it's well deserved. Yeah. You know, I'm not going to lie. I'm thinking about starting to write smut because I can't find a traditional job. And I actually know I'm really good at it. But that's neither here nor there. You'll never believe my pen name I'm going to use. But anyways, yeah.
Penis larger than sword. That's going to be my pen name. Penis larger than sword.
Really?
Yeah.
Aw. I was giving you more brain credit than that, and I was going to call you the minuscule man.
But I have a picture of the Marlboro Man as my image.
With an inverted fucking genital lump.
Yeah. Well, walking like a cowboy, you know. Bow-legged.
Hey, it's better than those labias I saw earlier. Oh, yeah. God, it's horrifying. Artist rendering of what they saw. No, thank you. I don't know. Do you feel like, when you pose that question, do you feel your grandparents or I mean, no offense to you, but your mom was a looker. Your mom.
Yeah, my grandmother was very good looking, and my grandfather was also very good looking.
Well, I mean, you're good looking.
Nowhere near either of them.
Just Miss Connie, I don't know. The thing that makes me sad is that she's not here, right? Because I know how much of a blessing it's been for my life to have my mom. You're lucky because you did have Connie, and then you've got Mama D, right? So you've been very lucky. And of course, you've got Mama Rose. So you've got all these women that are just wanting to keep you, right? But one of the pictures I saw of your mom, I just thought, oh my God, she's so pretty. He came from her? Just because I'm an asshole sometimes, right? Because if I wasn't an asshole to you, people would comment, be like, what's going on? Why are you being nice to him? He's such a butthole to you. Like, ladies, I know. Gentlemen, I know. Okay? Guys, I know. I live it. Trust me. We have hours and hours of shit we don't put on the air. But there was one picture I saw of your mom where she was standing, I think it's in front of your grandparents' house. It was a black and white picture. And you can see there's this almost ethereal sadness on her face. And I remember looking at that picture when we were doing the scan in to digitize them. Yeah. And I remember looking at that picture, and I don't even know if I said it to you, but I remember seeing that picture and thinking, I wonder if she knows she's going to have a short life. Because she just had this air of sadness about her. Like, and I mean, she had to have been high school aged, I think, maybe.
Okay.
But anyways, I don't know. How do you think you would deal with it? I mean, How do you feel your grandparents are better looking than you? Which
definitely.
seems weird.
Yeah, my grandfather was a stud.
An Irish stud.
Even though he was short. He was very short.
Was he Popeye?
He was Popeye without the popped eyes.
If you could name one celebrity you look like, because I'll tell you what, here's why I say my mom looks like Sally Field. Obviously, the dark wavy hair. But, my grandfather, her dad, I thought my grandfather, her dad, I thought he was John Wayne when I was little. Because he has that same resemblance, only he was, obviously a redhead, and because his nickname was Red.
Yeah. My grandfather looked more like maybe Audie Murphy. Can
we bring it up to maybe the 21st century?
Alan Tudyk reminds me of my grandfather a lot, but it's more about his attitude.
Okay.
Although they do look kind of similar.
So you're kind of giving me he looks a little bit blockier than Charlie Day vibes is what you're giving me.
No.
I'll look up Audie Murphy. I'll save the hassle. So let's not get too far off track because we do that a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm drinking water. My sugar content is low today. It's fucking fantastic. I've had some Cheetos today too, so that's fantastic because my I don't have Cheeto fingers. That I can't even smell Cheetos. I've washed my hands enough. Yay. Okay, so I don't know. I think that if you believe they're better looking than you, then that's your perception. It might not be an actuality.
Yeah. Also, I don't care. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh my God, my father is so much more successful and so much better looking and so much richer than me. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, because that's his merits, not yours.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. I don't know if any of those are facts. He's dead, so it doesn't matter.
At one time he might have been, the number one PIMP
of
Portland.
Big pimping, yeah.
He was big pimping until Big Black and Blue said, "I don't think so."
Yeah. So yeah, whatever.
So, okay, fair. So when you were talking about this thing for failure, like I said, I think failure is an important part of learning success.
Yes.
It is huge. It teaches you humility. It teaches you actually how to do better than yourself. Because if you fail and you sit there and you go, "Man, I didn't try and I failed. That's not fair." Or if you go, "I tried really hard and I failed." You do that. And I really think you're missing a big part of the learning curve.
Well, especially if you're blaming other people or whatever.
It's the instructor's fault. They gave me all the tools and I didn't apply them. And it's his fault because he didn't inspire me. I can't stand that.
Yeah.
That is the one thing I hear more and more and more. And I hear it in social media. I hear it in news reports. This attack happened because this was retribution because they were uninspired. You want to know what's uninspired? Is making $7.2 million on a non-existent painting. But I'm not going to rant about that today. Yeah. Anyways, so you talked about the being lazy and the complacency. What was the other thing you talked about?
The other one was the only thing that I consider a true failure on my part.
Okay.
And that is me failing EOD school.
Right.
Because that was the only time that I failed trying to accomplish something.
Right.
The other ones are kind of, I failed because I was a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought too much of myself, I guess, maybe. Yeah, that's probably accurate.
So what stopped you? What stopped you from trying again at EOD school?
Yeah, so I could have, they have a policy you can reapply after 6 months after you failed out of the school.
Right.
The thing was, I had already extended my contract with the government
for this opportunity for EOD
to go to the school. Yeah. And so I was like, if I fail this, I'm just fucking getting out of the military because I was already sick of it at that time.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly what I did. I went back to the 82nd Airborne Division, continued doing my job as a commo guy, and then was like, okay, yep, I'm out.
And it's so, and that's kind of, like in a way, if you think about it, like all the little things, because we talk about it on Military Minute, all the little, I think we do anyways. Maybe it's the one we talk about. Maybe I'm thinking of the one we talked about that we didn't publish.
That could be too.
Because that happens a lot too. Where our audience, I think they're understanding by now that sometimes we hold stuff to ourselves. We'll record it. We record plenty of stuff.
I think we might even have somewhere around 30 or 40 fucking recorded episodes that we haven't published.
We have like 70 hours of unpublished material.
Yeah.
But the thing is it's so funny because everybody would think I'm the only sentimental one. But when we actually we did talk about your military career,
Mm-hmm.
and I could tell by the look on your face that there was something there. And you were just like, yeah, let's hold on to it, because it's some stuff we just aren't ready to let go or put out there yet.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, you just had a few experiences where you were just like, look, I make it or I don't make it. If I don't make it, I'm fucking done with this nonsense.
Yeah.
And I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Do you think, retrospect, redacted years later, do you think at any point you self-sabotaged because everything else had just influenced you to the way you were like, this is my last attempt to stay in the military because I'm so over this bullshit?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think you did.
Yeah,
I'm glad you did, because we've already had that conversation. That's not... We have the episode ready. Look, we have the episode ready. And then I wasn't ready to release it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still not ready to release it because she's ours.
Mm-hmm.
And we had talked about how different life could have possibly been had you not got out of the military when you did.
Yeah.
So here's the funny thing about failure that I hope some people take away. Sometimes failing ends up being the best fucking blessing.
Yeah.
Because you very well could have not failed. And because it takes you longer to attach to people and build your community.
Mm-hmm.
You could be at E7 by yourself, eating a can of tuna up in the barracks, just saving your money because you're too young to retire and you're too old to go chase girls.
I mean, no, I would be retired by now.
You probably re-up, be like, fuck it. I already went to Germany. I've already been to Hawaii. Where am I going to go this time? Tokyo. But that's what I'm saying is the decisions we make in our life all lead us to the path we should be at.
Mm.
If you put that perspective, right? Because if you sit there and believe that everything is just total random happenstance and you can't get anywhere you want to go, it's just going to fall at you whatever way, you're going to fail over and over and over again.
Mm.
If you believe that every success and every failure puts you into the position you're at now, for whatever reason, it's where you're supposed to be.
Okay.
If I don't believe that, then I am going to be one of those people looking at the wall going, I can see the Matrix. And I'm going to be one of those people yelling in the mall, Hey, Paul, you want to put me on the winning side of things for once? Thanks, Paul. Appreciate that. That's going to be me. If I don't firmly believe every place that we go is where we're supposed to be.
Mm.
Not saying it's a predestined thing, but like say my lesson was to learn humility, that I'm not the best thing in the entire world. I'm a good person, but I'm not the best person in the world.
What are you saying?
I'm not the smartest person in the world. So if I'm in a position in my life to learn humility, maybe that's where I need to be, is learning humility. Minuscule. So micro.
In the Iron Druid Chronicles, the main character makes a bunch of tea, right? He has this...
More tea bags than Lipton.
Yeah, he has a bookshop that's called Third Eye Books. And it's also got a tea bar in it, like a coffee shop. But he only does tea.
Okay.
And so he makes a bunch of magical teas.
Right.
Although the people he's selling them to, almost none of them realize that they're magical.
Right.
They just think... They're like, oh, this is magical. It actually works really well.
It's got real spells.
They don't realize it. They have real spells in them, and they summon real demons.
I love that episode so much. I'm sorry. Anyways.
And anyway, he makes puns out of all of them. So the tea that he drinks to keep himself young, he calls immortality. Because the dude's 2,000 years old, and the reason is because of this tea that he makes.
Right.
And one of the teas that he makes He makes it specifically for women that are having trouble with dudes trying to have sex with them that they don't want to have sex with, basically.
Right.
And it's called humility.
Uh-huh.
And basically, it prevents them from being able to have a boner for like a week. Yeah.
I'm just saying you might want to pick a better teacup. I literally, that's the one true thing I can say about myself is that I do believe I'm on a path to somewhere, not just death. I mean, obviously we're all marching off to death sometime, right?
Yeah.
Some of us sooner than others, unfortunately. But if I didn't believe that I had a purpose, and not just to try to show people in my circle that kindness can be, there's a difference between kindness and weakness.
Yes.
I choose kindness, but I'm not weak.
Yeah.
And I think there's some people over the course of my lifetime who, I'll tell you what, I had a very good friend before I ever met you. I had a very good friend. Him and I were like Forrest Gump would say, him and I were like peas and carrots.
Peas and carrots.
Jenny. He's the only one who could call me Jenny besides my nephew. And it only took one comment the wrong way for me to start looking at him a little differently and keeping my distance from the individual. And I don't have a problem with anybody's belief systems or anything like that. What I have a problem with is somebody who wants to treat their wife like a broodmare and treat their friends like a concubine, potentially. And I've never been able to stand it when somebody says, if you just do exactly what I say, your life will get better. Because I don't think that's how it works. I think how it works is somebody says, here's what's worked for me, and here's what might work for you. But suss it out. Suss it out and see if it works for you. But it's not the absolute be all. And I remember the day I completely let him go. And when I'm saying I let him go, I mean Xbox. I mean Facebook. I mean emails, Gmails, blocked on the phone, everything. Because I hit that point where I was just like, you're trying to tell me how to live this life that's not being kind to these people I've known for years. You're telling me because your daddy didn't believe that women should be married or men should be married to each other. You're telling me that you're like, literally, I'm telling you, it all came down to, we had a mutual friend and her daughter announced her engagement. And of course she was very proud of her daughter because her daughter had a very hard life, and it happens, you know. It's not just it's absentee parents happen to a lot of people. And it's a sucky, shitty position to be in, but thank God her mom stepped up and helped raise her daughter. So her daughter, of course, had a great affinity for women. Her dad just he didn't try that much. He had his own struggles or whatever. And she was very proud of announcing her daughter came out. We'd known her daughter since she was little. I knew when her daughter was like 12. I'd known because, you know, we all knew. None of us cared except for him, my old friend. He cared. And he like wanted to post some Bible verse and talk about how it ain't right and it ain't normal and it's not okay and it's not acceptable and we basically need to burn all the fucking witches. I don't care if you are a fucking adult and you pay your own bills. I don't care if you have 1 or 200 boyfriends or girlfriends or Viber. I don't care about any of that. Are you a good person? Are you a kind person to the people who are kind to you? So kindness is the way I try to. So if I didn't firmly believe I was on a path, I don't think I would be who I am. Am I neurotic? Oh, for fuck's sake, yes. I am overly empathetic. I cry at everything. I mean, I cried at Frankenstein, okay? I cried at Frankenstein. You have to watch it.
It's Frankenstein.
It is not Frankenstein, it's Frankenstein. And I'll put that a recommend 100% to anybody. It is a bit of a slow movie. I'm not going to lie. There are parts in it that's slow, but if you look at it at the humanity side of it and like really put it into perspective, like, because they tell you from the beginning, this is what I see. This is what I believe. And you see both sides of the coin and it gives you a little bit better understanding. But there's this one part in the movie where it's like the monster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you just gotta watch it. He comes to realize, you know, like as a quote monster,
Mm-hmm.
what he really wants. And
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
so tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
You fuck away.
But anyways, it's a very good thing. Guillermo del Toro put together a fantastic movie because at the end of the day, the monster just expresses that he realizes that even though he's different than everybody else, he's different than everybody. I mean, this guy, he's nothing like anybody else. But what he wants to be is accepted. What he wants to be is he wants to have a companion. He wants to have a friend. And when he finally finds that, it's taken away from him. And the rage he feels is like, you remember that one time in the Tri-Cities when that guy got mouthy and you were like, I'm about to catch charge. That's how he got, only he did not hold his rage. He let his rage go.
Yeah.
Which was freaking epic to see. But anyways, so for me, that's failures teach us everything, right?
Yeah.
And so do successes. Because I think you sabotage yourself.
Okay.
I really do. When I hear you talk about it and I see the look on your face, I think there's a part of you that really did self-sabotage just because it was just like you'd already made an error and had to redo that one part, right?
Yeah.
And so you're already annoyed at yourself because here you are trying, you're putting your effort in and you made a mistake that you should have known better. And you knew what to do differently, right?
Sure. After the fact.
Even before the fact. You're way too smart that I think you overthought your hand. And I think you sabotaged yourself at that point intentionally because of how they spoke to you in the interview.
Okay.
I really do, because when you talked about it on camera about how they spoke to you, you were just like, I know you well enough to know that when you do you cock your head a certain way and you give me that certain, just as much as if I look at you and I go, you know, we know what that means. It's the same for you.
Are you talking about the FBI agent doing my background check?
No. When you'd had the mistake and then you had to redo that class, didn't they have the interview?
Oh yeah. You
and you were just like, they were just
academic review board.
The academic review board, and they were just stupid about how they did it. You said you were very annoyed, I believe were the words, very annoyed. So I think that interview really influenced how you were going to play it out, honestly. But I don't want to get too philosophical because
today.
Right. Not today, because I haven't done enough research about philosophers, which, by the way, because we're squirreling and we're out of time, which is fantastic. So it was not Plutarch who went and lived in
the barrel or whatever.
Barrel. So we had talked about, can you explain that for the people who might have, because it was on the other side, I think, that we talked about.
Oh.
So there was a philosopher.
Yeah, there was a philosopher who basically he gave up all material possessions.
That is correct.
And he lived at the same time and in the same city as the dude who was the founder of hedonism. And maybe also the other dude who created stoicism. Maybe not. But anyway, he and the hedonist definitely lived at the same time. And they would constantly get in arguments about their particular philosophies.
Right.
Because, the hedonist dude was like, you fucking dumbass. You're living here in this barrel like a fucking animal. I'm out there having hookers and blow, basically.
Yep. Yep. And that was, oh gosh, I'd read it, but I didn't write it down. Okay. So the guy who lived, this philosopher, his name was Diogenes.
Oh yeah. Diogenes.
Yeah. He lived in what we would call, back then they called a clay jar, but it actually to us nowadays would probably more likely be
cardboard box.
A tub, a tub or a broken barrel.
Okay.
So he chose to live extreme simplicity to highlight the societal hypocrisy and freedom found in self-sufficiency. He believed that true happiness came from refuting conventional and material items. And Do you know why? Because I'm going to leave off with this today because that's an important factor. You have a philosopher that people respect, and it wasn't just him; it was Plato as well. He just took Plato's beliefs to like the extreme, or Aristotle and Plato and all that. They kind of went to the extreme.
Okay.
He took them to the extreme, and the thing for him is he never had two nickels to rub together. He didn't. He did not. Do you know that Diogenes actually came from a very wealthy family?
Yeah, I don't remember that, but yeah.
His father was the money. He was I can't remember the word, but he was the guy that people would bring foreign currency to get exchanges from.
Yeah, okay.
And what they were accused of, what his dad was accused of, and he was accused of, was basically ripping people off. They were undervaluing everything to keep more wealth for themselves. Diogenes and his father both were forbidden from the city he lived in. That they lived in, which is like a really confusing name. But anyways, and he chose at that moment, once he had been banished from his childhood home, from his childhood town, he chose to show that he had learned his lesson. He literally went to the opposite extreme of the luxury and the lavish life he'd lived to the opposite, to try to prove that he and his father didn't mean any harm. And to prove to people that you could live so minimalistically and be so happy because it didn't matter. What mattered was not how much money you had in your bank account, but how much kindness and richness you had in your heart for your fellow man. Just food for thought. It doesn't buy the loaf of bread, but it's pretty interesting because if you look at it that perspective, then, there's other things I can't say on mic because then, but whatever. I hope everybody's had a fan-fucking-tastic day learning about failure. You have to fail to succeed, and you have to succeed before you can fail. Either way, there's lesson to be learned from both.
Yeah.
Failure matters. No, honestly, failure happens.
Yeah.
I don't think she should have any fear of failure. All she can do is go up. If she fails, she fails.
Yeah.
It's, you can't be 22 years old and worry about failing one little tiny test.
Yeah.
Unless it's a pregnancy test and you don't want to fail that test. You know what I'm saying?
Or an AIDS test.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, I'm glad that you talked to her about failure and gave her another perspective because she values your opinion. She respects you greatly.
As she should.
Oh my God, it would not be a day.
Later.
Bye. Okay, everybody. That's all the time we have for today. So I want to thank you for stopping by to enjoy the conversation. We're glad you're here, and please share and share again and share some more. And if you haven't already, subscribe. We'll be having another chat and another cup soon. We'll talk to you then. Look forward to seeing you.